Turning back now to our election coverage over the past 3 weeks, we have seen record early voting here in Georgia, and it is not expected to slow down today.
According to the Secretary of State's office, as of yesterday, 55% of all active voters in the state have already cast their ballots. So if you're heading out to the polls, you can expect some long lines out there. Our team is standing by this morning with county by county coverage. Liza Lucas in Gwinnett with a look at the latest early voting tally.
Christy Diaz at the 11 Alive Bridge with an in-depth look at the races you need to watch. Mara Sirianni in Cobb with more on what the county is doing to avoid longer than usual wait times. But we begin with Jerry Carnes live in southeast Atlanta, where final election day preps are still underway. Election officials running into a last-minute problem with its equipment. What's the latest here, Jerry?
Well, good morning, Sheba. Fulton County sent us a statement overnight telling us that despite a last-minute scramble to get equipment to polling places, they insist that everything will be ready to go when the polls open in less than an hour at 7 a.m. The county is telling us that a moving company that was supposed to deliver equipment to Fulton polling places canceled at the last minute without notice. There were a lot of changes in the delivery schedule due to last week's storm and other issues. The video you're looking at was shot last night at a county warehouse as poll workers were picking up equipment and delivering it themselves to the polling places. Fulton County election officials tell us that as of 11:30 last night, 98% of the equipment needed had been delivered to the polling spots. The rest, they insist, will be in place when the polls open at 7 a.m. You come back to us live and you can see inside the Louise Watley Library here in southeast Atlanta. Poll workers have been here since 5 a.m. and we are beginning to get a line here as people are preparing to vote when the polls open in less than an hour. Coming up at 6:30, we'll talk about all of the changes that have taken place here in Fulton County since the primaries in June. They want to avoid all of the long lines and complaints that took place then.
Absolutely, Jerry. Thank you. And in Gwinnett County, election leaders say early voting numbers have already exceeded turnout in 2016. The Board of Elections there processing more than 300,000 ballots and counting. Liza Lucas continues our team coverage from Lawrenceville in Gwinnett County with more.
Good morning, Sheba. We are here at Five Forks Library starting election day. No sign of voters just yet, but we know the poll workers are here. They've been busy behind the scenes gearing up for what is expected to be a long day ahead here in Gwinnett County. In fact, Gwinnett County officials tell me that they anticipate having lines into this evening. And as a reminder, you have to be in line by 7 o'clock tonight in order to be guaranteed that chance to vote. Now, we've been talking to them about the turnout they've seen so far in Gwinnett. Officials tell us that they have been amazed by what they've seen thus far, and that turnout, well, it has already exceeded the turnout for the 2016 race. In fact, I spoke with the head of Gwinnett's Board of Elections who said their team worked through the weekend processing early voting ballots with the expectation of still more absentee ballots arriving.
We're expecting large numbers through the mail and most especially through the drop boxes. And, those will come in and they have to go through the same process as every other ballot. We'll look at the signatures, we'll make sure there's a match, we'll accept the ones that do, and we'll send cure affidavits for the ones that don't.
And given the volume that they are dealing with here in Gwinnett County, the head of the Board of Elections tells me that she does not anticipate having all those ballots processed by tonight, though they expect to have that done in the next couple of days. We're going to stay on top of it here because this is a race to watch here in Gwinnett County, a county that flipped to blue in the 2016 presidential race. And in the meantime, I'm going to toss it over to Christy Diaz for a breakdown of Georgia's 7th congressional district.
Gwinnett County is one of 3 metro counties that flipped to blue in the 2016 election, along with Henry County and Cobb County. But check this out. If we go back to 2012, Romney won Gwinnett County by more than 9 points. 4 years later, Hillary Clinton was able to flip the county to blue, winning Gwinnett by almost 6 points. So that's a Democratic trend that we're seeing that we'll be watching closely this election day. Now, also a reminder that the 7th district is in play here in Gwinnett County. It stretches across Gwinnett all the way up into Forsyth. This is the race between Republican Rich McCormick and Democrat Carolyn Bordeaux. And now political analysts say it's likely that Republicans will lose Gwinnett, so we should be looking to Forsyth County to figure out which way this race will fall. But this is one that is certainly in play, and it's a toss-up today on Election Day, so we will be watching it closely, Jennifer.
All right, Christy, thank you. Of course, the major race everyone is closely watching and talking about is that race for the White House. President Trump and Democratic challenger Joe Biden campaigning well into the night last night. Today, the candidates will make a few last-minute visits. President Trump says he may go to his campaign headquarters in Virginia. And in an unusual move, Joe Biden will hit the road. He will travel to Scranton and Philadelphia before heading to Wilmington, Delaware to address the nation. We'll have more on that in a live report from Washington, D.C. coming up at 6:15.
6:07 right now. The latest NBC News poll showing it could be a close race today. The poll surveying voters in the 12 potential swing states, including Georgia. It shows Joe Biden with a slight lead. 51% of those surveyed say they are voting for the former vice president. 46% plan to vote for President Trump. We want to point out here the margin of error is about 3.5%. The 11 Alive voter access team is committed to making sure your voices are heard. Send us an email at whereatlspeaks@11alive.com or text us at 404-885-7600 and check out our voter guide on 11alive.com/vote.